Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the insane, funky beats of CANIDAE. This is a visual novel by the developer Ozone Interactive. You ever see something and immediately know that you're gonna vibe with it? You just have an innate feeling in your gut that you are gonna vibe the fuck out with something? That was me with this game. This is a visual novel, and I think it's going to be pretty self-explanatory if you know anything about me as to why this appealed to me. We're just gonna... Okay. Elephant in the room. The Kevin MacLeod music. That's part of why I like this game. I'm going to tell you why probably at the end. But let's begin. Again, this is a visual novel, so get ready to be read to. I try to flick the lighter again, getting more and more desperate now. I can feel their eyes on me as I fail again to light the fuse, my hands starting to shake. Picturing the scowl on Red's face, I flick it harder and... lit! I quickly hold it against the fuse and it snakes up the length faster than I was expecting. Remembering my fear of the explosion, I scramble to my feet and run towards them. Clambering noisily to the bushes, I can see Blue perched on a rock and Red leaning against a tree. I don't have time to apologize as I hear the crackling start behind me. Plumes of smoke erupt out of the rocket and the noises get louder and louder and louder until a few sparks sprinkle the ground. But the rocket doesn't even fire. It's a dud. I start to feel their eyes on me again. Red sighs dramatically. Man, seriously? I slowly turn around to face him, my chest constricting as I realize how much I fucked it up. You swore up and down to me that this would be the best way to start the night. You made us watch this instead of going over the Liams. He breathes in heavily through his mask, the dark eye holes making it impossible to read his expression. I can tell he's becoming furious. He starts to fiddle with his bat. Listen, man, I'm so sorry. Sean told me how good these things were gonna be, and I really believed him. I wanted to impress you. There's still the rest of Halloween. His posture changes and I start to grovel, relaxing the white-knuckle grip on his bat. I know it still won't be good enough. Sounds like you have really good friends. I look over at Blue for support and he just stares back, oddly still. I'll do whatever you want for the rest of the night to make it up. I promise I won't pussy out like with Ed. Red barks out a short laugh at that, back to lazing against the tree trunk. Blue huffs and starts to root around in his bag, gripping something. I'm gonna make you regret that promise, Runt. Besides, you already owe me. If the night is just gonna improve... excuse me. If the night is gonna improve after that, let's go. Any ideas of what to subject him to, Blue? My chest starts to tighten again, knowing exactly what Blue considers a fun use of his free time. I used to catch him pulling the limbs off bugs when he were younger, not knowing he graduated to something stronger. Until I found the mice in his room. I have been meaning to... Wait, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna make the Runt get back at Sean for his shitty fireworks. A rock through his window, maybe? I start to breathe again, realizing I'm not going to be subjected to whatever Blue was thinking of. My stomach sinks the second I realize what I'll be doing instead. Wait, I don't know if he deserves... You said anything to make it better, right? This is anything. Sean has deserved it ages before this. Remember when he stole Liam's bike and wouldn't admit it? A rock is getting off lightly. Red starts to saunter in the direction of Sean's house and I scramble up behind him. Just gotta say, number one, again, first scene done, shit friends. You gotta get shit friends. Number two, Blue's a fucking psychopath. Number three, I think Red just needs to be hugged. And also, I didn't say it before, these don't look like American suburbs. Ooh, especially the front of this car. Is this British? Is this a British game? I think it is. Because also the house in the background of the first screen. Like more like a flat complex, you know what I'm saying? He's staring at the moon heavy in the sky. Oops, that's the wrong button. I look a little closer, but then he seems to snap out of it and turn towards me. I scratch the skin under my thick mask, trying to focus on him. A funny feeling starts to form in the back of my mind, like we're somehow making eye contact underneath our masks, even though I can't make out his face. Hurry up, Jesus, you too scared of the dark or something? Blue looks back at the road, straightening up and beginning to amble towards us. I realize how long I've been frozen watching him and scurry back in Red's direction. Red snickers at his own joke loudly, and I try to relax again. It feels like we've walked for ages by the time we arrive at Sean Street. Probably more like 10 minutes. Oh yeah, no, with the license plate too. We're definitely British. The dread in the pit of my stomach has only strengthened over the walk. Every trick-or-treater we walk by makes me feel worse. A family passes me and I suddenly realize how public this is going to be on a day where everyone is outside. The dread solidifies further. In contrast, Red whistles cheerily next to me, the shaggy wolf's head he's wearing muffling it into an ominous tune. Blue stalks behind us, breathing heavily. It sounds somehow like he's finished running a marathon. Red jauntily raises his bat up to the house like some kind of circus ringleader. Well, here we are. Looks empty, so try not to shit yourself. He turns around suddenly, surveying the nearby houses. Spotting something he likes, he wanders over to a crumbling brick wall across the street. He kicks harshly at it, old bricks showering across the path. Reaching down, he dislodges a large chunk. Here you are, Runt. With that big a target, you shouldn't be able to miss. Yeah, alright, well, can one of you guys watch for trick-or-treaters? You sure there's nobody here? You scared of kids, man? Jesus, just throw the fucking thing. Get his bedroom window if you can manage it. I want him to know. I don't know about this. Why don't we just... You said you would do anything, and you will. But tonight is gonna get much worse. Yeah, but... If you have to ruin it, I'll make you regret it. He's stalking towards me, waving his bat madly. I feel like I'm speaking to an alien. He's a dick, sure, but now he's more like a man possessed. That music? Excuse me? Hit again? Another hit? Come on. Another noise hit? No? That ain't no Kevin MacLeod. Yeah, that? Ooh. I step back, feeling myself start to hyperventilate. A large shape appears next to his bat, gripping it firmly enough that his waving stops instantly. I realize it's blue as Red lets out a snarl in surprise. Get the fuck off me, man! He tries to whirl on him, but... Yeah? Excuse me? An inhuman roar rips through the night atmosphere. Red nearly drops the brick clutched in his other hand. I realize that it come from Blue. Hey, whoa, alright. Just throw the goddamn thing, okay? It's like he's been sedated. Blue releases the bat and Red's arms... Jesus Christ. Red's arm flops lazily down to his side. Blue looks at me and nods. Okay, I'm doing it. I'll throw. There's a rush of bile in my throat as I look away, incapable of processing whatever I had just seen. Yeah, what the fuck? That sucks. Oh. I don't like this. It's kind of... That's like... Your common YouTuber response. That's not human, guys. What the heck? No, I think I see where this is going. I think I see where this is going. Or at least I see where I hope this is going. And I like it. I like it a lot. I'm liking this so far. This is interesting. Unthinking, I raise the brick. Breathe in and throw. The glass shatters, pouring into the bedroom. Abruptly, I realize I can breathe again and take deep gulps of the night air. Love this music, too. Red jumps up, hooting enthusiastically at the destruction. Click. Oh, shit. Shit! Let's go! I take off sprinting down the road, footsteps pounding behind me. My lungs start to burn, but I keep pushing until the world around me starts to get blurrier. I can feel my heart beating out of my chest, deafening me. Finally, I stumble up against a house and stop to rest. God. What's so funny, man? Jesus, you can't believe he was there. God, that makes up for the firework. But what if we're wearing masks? Relax. Red's attempted comfort did not make me feel better. I feel like the world is closing in on me. Can you imagine the look on his face? Probably woke him up from a fucking nap. Jesus. That or he was wanking in the dark. It is British! That sets him off into further peals of laughter, clutching his chest. Slowly, the world around me starts to right itself again. That's a new best from you. Blue is looking down at me, his whole body curled up against the wall but somehow still towering over. Oh, and you know what? I just realized Blue's mask is a fox. Makes sense. I like that their masks fit their character so far. That's neat. How did I not realize that was a fox, by the way? Hey, yeah, god damn it. It's a right click, goes to the option menu. Hey, yeah, that definitely beats stealing a pint from the pub. Red punches me in the shoulder and I start to laugh with him, admittedly pretty amused by the idea of Sean's reaction. Oh god, he's still laughing at it? My turn to be compensated for the fireworks? I peer up at Blue, suddenly remembering what had just happened between him and Red, and what I had promised. My heart drops. Why not? Let's see if we can really make him braver, right? It feels like Red doesn't even remember what had only just transpired between them, back to working together to torment me. Maybe we can do something more Halloween-y now, right? I have something in mind. You're gonna... Would you pull the legs off of this mouse I found? Stick this gerbil in the microwave. Like the fuck? I don't... How old are we, by the way? We got... Well, teenagers, most likely, because we're fucking around and throwing shit during Halloween. Like, you're some immature bastards. I take a deep breath, suddenly regretting it as I notice a putrid smell wafting on the breeze. What? I recoil slightly, then try to conceal my reaction as I realize the scent is coming from Blue. He's not the kind of person who normally smells, well, good, but this is a lot, even for him. He reaches into his bag and pulls out a small shoebox. What the fuck? He's gonna ask us to, like, eat a dead rat or some shit. Discolored and torn. The smell gets considerably worse as he holds it out towards me. It smells sweet. Yeah, it's something dead. Sweet, it's something dead. That's the smell of death. In the most sickening possible sense. I resist the urge to gag as I picture whatever could be inside. Red reaches over, trying to grab the box from his hands, but Blue quickly moves it from his reach. Dude, what the fuck is in there? It smells worse than when my cousin left a plate of rotting eggs in my room. You can't open it. It's not for you. Man, tell me there's not anything fucked up in there. Red shifts onto his back foot, before turning away slightly. He's scared of this motherfucker. Actually, I think you'll appreciate this when you know the recipient. Red inclines his head back in Blue's direction, encouraging him to keep speaking. I made it for Jack. Uh-huh. Red stops shifting around and suddenly goes completely still. I can't believe this is being brought up. Whatever happened with Jack long before I was involved. Oh, sorry. Whatever happened with Jack happened long before I was involved, but I've gotten the sense it was pretty serious. He used to be a good friend of Red's and was dating Red's sister, but from what I know, the relationship got pretty fucked up. I've also gotten the sense that he's a terrifying guy. Oh, that's totally cool and not heavy. God, seriously? We're having revenge tonight, and he deserves it. You know it. All we have to do is get Green to leave this for him. Just fucking do it yourself, fucking dirty work. I remember my place in all this and snap back to reality. I really don't want to be involved in one of Blue's schemes. The way he's acting, it makes me feel like I'm going to be starring in some crime documentary a year from now. Red clearly notices he's lost control of the night, and I can see him trying to rally himself in my peripheral vision. Well, I won't say no to that. He deserves it. It'll make this one less useful for sure. He slaps me on the shoulder, but his enthusiasm rings completely hollow. It's not hard to see his heart isn't in it. Still, it's much harder to get out of this now that he's approved. Listen, I don't get what you're doing, but I don't think I can do this without knowing what's in that box. I look over at Red for support, but he doesn't seem to be paying me any attention, scuffing his boot against the pavement. Not until you put it there. Come on, why not? No, you can see it if you do it. I hold his gaze for a very tense couple of seconds. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what's probably in that box. His experiments... Oh, Jesus Christ. Of course! Of course! You know, any growing boy, any little kid, I make potions in the sink! Oh, I make mud pies! When Dad plays with a hose, I fucking experiment with little animals that I have total control over. That's fucking awesome, dude. His experiments flash in my mind, and I can feel myself becoming even more aware of the smell. Inclining my head up at him, I swear I can see the snout on his mask curling up into a snarl. Yeah, I think I have an inkling as to where we're going here. Jumping, I push myself backwards against the wall and look again, but his mask is completely the same as it was before. Slowly, he pushes the cardboard box into my hands. No reaction at all to me nearly jumping out of my skin. He swivels on his foot and starts striding off down the street, Red reproachfully following behind. He's hunched over more, boots dragging loudly as he walks. You could get the impression that he had just woken up, if it wasn't for his bat. Even in the darkness, I could see him gripping it tightly, the veins on his arms prominent from the force. Jesus, what the fuck did this guy do to his sister? Eventually, I start to trail behind, actively trying not to look at the box in my hands. It dawns on me that Blue prepared whatever I'm holding long before our plans got derailed. Which means he was gonna do something fucked up to this guy anyway. Revenge is clearly not a motive for him. Yeah, I probably should have said that. YouTuber only commentates what the game says. Thinking about that just makes me feel sicker as I try to focus on the Halloween decorations. Yeah. That's not... I don't think that would be too much of a distraction. I might want to flag the fucking police after this is over. Like, I'm gonna be so fucking genuinely serious. I don't know. Blue is something fuck's gonna happen with Blue by the end of tonight. I don't trust. Jack's house turned out to be pretty close, Blue having led us there. Luckily, it's getting pretty late now, and there seems to be less families about. It's that time during Halloween where it's like teenagers coming out, kind of like us. Ugh. There's something so not fucked up. That's not the right wording. Not sad. Not even like melancholy. What word am I thinking of? I don't know. There's something to those later hours in like Halloween. After all the kids and like the enthusiastic like cosplayers and stuff go back home. That kind of like a sort of after party. Yeah, like an after party like crash, like an energy crash kind of feel. And that's like draped all over this game right now. It's like everyone's like drained and exhausted, but for some reason things are still going. Kind of feels like life right now that I think about it. I trudge along with the group before Red suddenly swings his bat out to his side, blocking me from walking. What? Don't get any closer. His lights are on. His earlier cheery demeanor is completely gone as he scans the house. There's an alley around the back that leads straight to his garden. Just turn right and hop over the second fence. That's his. I really do not like how quickly this is escalating. I should have dealt with this guy a long time ago. Red's mood shift is also not helping, as I imagine if he lingers here much longer, he might actually get to use his bat. I realize I just need to get this over with. But I just can't. Guys, this is crazy, yeah? Stop being a little fucking weasel, alright? Aren't you supposed to be a coyote tonight? I had forgotten how quick he had been to fly off the handle earlier, but watching him turn on me so fast, I realized how much more unstable he seems. I can't even bear to look at Blue, knowing he orchestrated this beforehand. Alright. First turn on the right, yeah? Blue nods affirmatively. I don't want to know why he knows this. Oof. Yeah, look at that dithering. Stumbling into the alley, I realize the stench of the box is only getting worse. The fuck? I gag a little, but try to quiet myself as I get closer. Shuddering, I realize I could just leave it in the alley or find a bin for it. There's no reason to get arrested during Blue's weird shit when he'd never know otherwise. As I look into the alley, my eyes are drawn upwards to the sky. A horrible shiver goes up my spine as I look at the moon, surprisingly large among the stars. Well, I hate to break this to you, but the feeling that something is deeply wrong fills my chest, but the moonlight is relaxing. My legs start to move of their own accord. I realize I'm going to fulfill Blue's task anyway. That's a good wording for that. I like that. The fence stretches up before me, and I reach up to grasp the top, hauling myself ungracefully up and over. I land with more of a thump than I would have liked in his garden, urgently trying to assess my surroundings. It's a pretty disgusting garden. Patches of grass, wilting, and piles of rotting wooden furniture laying in corners. Nearer to the door lies a large wire cage among various clothes that have clearly fallen off the washing line and have been left in the dirt. Hearing movement on the other side of the fence, I remember the situation I'm in. I scramble up to the back door and quickly lay the box down, pausing as I grip the lid. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, it's a rabbit. Oh, God, okay. I'm not gonna say that that's better exactly than what I was thinking. Some reason I immediately thought that I was like a puppy or some shit. Like a dog fetus. Okay. It's not as bad as my brain was imagining, but Jesus Christ. A skinned rabbit. God, the Blue really is like a fox, isn't he? He eats like... Or eat. You know, he kills... the word for the little crawler... Bugs. He eats like... He kills like bugs and mice and rabbits. Very fitting of the CANIDAE title, I guess. A rabbit? It's clearly been skinned and left to sit in the box for who knows how long. Congealed blood coating the inside. The wave of nausea hits me faster than I can process it. I pry off the mask before vomiting into the grass. I feel dizzy as I look up again, trying to contain my retching. Fuck. I try not to think about the implications of what I'm looking at and turn away from it. Back towards the fence. I grasp it again, hop, and nearly fall flat onto the ground on the other side. The other side. Breathing deeply, I wipe at my eyes under my mask and try to pick myself back up. I lean heavily against the wall for a second, my legs not willing to cooperate. I'm not in the garden anymore, but I'm still too close by, so I hasten my feet and drag myself into the street. I avert my gaze as I approach them. I can't bear it. Right, let's go. I hear Red moving away from us as I try to shadow him, bringing my breathing back to a normal level. A hand grips my shoulder and I hear mocking laughter from over it. Hey, it'll get a reaction. He's too close to me. I can't even stomach a nod to the affirmative. I swallow. Yeah, I don't... Oh my god, my big fat imagination's like going wild here. I don't... Yeah, I really don't like that. Ooh, something about that is just like... My stomach does not like that. Bad gut feeling, go figure. Just, I don't know, there's something different. You gotta tell me what was in that box, seriously. Jesus, here we go. I tilt my head lopsidedly up at him, trying to focus on the words. It was my plan. I'll tell you. I did say you'd be impressed. Red stands at attention, clearly hating the suspense. I remember you mentioning that he had a rabbit. Fuck! It's not even like a random rabbit from, like, the countryside. Jesus Christ, dude. What the fuck? He thinks it went missing 6 days ago. He'll know where it went now. Christ! The world feels like it goes out from under me as I watch Red's reaction. His shoulders tense up even further. Then they drop. Then they tense again. He looks away wildly, then looks back. Ooh. His rabbit? His bat starts to move at his side, twitching as he shakes. That goddamn rabbit? My sister loved that thing, you sick fuck! What the hell is wrong with you? He snarls, and I swear I see a flash of yellow in the eye holes of his mask. A wolf staring back at me. All at once, he leaps at Blue, bat raised over his head. I throw myself out of the way as Blue grasps in mid-air, their bodies colliding as they both tumble to the floor. Hey, stop! I feel like I'm watching something more animal than human. Bodies and matted fur roiling in constant motion. Red quickly lifts his bat and swings, Blue's head snapping to the side with the force. Jesus Christ! He goes limp for a second before surging back to life, kicking at him. Red raises his arms to strike up at him again. Blue roars and throws himself upwards. Rolling over, he uses his sheer size to pin Red beneath him. I should step in, but I can't breathe. He grips Red's mask, slamming his head down into the pavement with incredible brutality. And again. And again. Holy shit! I am helping you, you idiot! Have you done anything to help him this whole time? Get your own revenge. The light goes out of Red's eyes, the formerly primal energy seeming to dissolve instantly. They look almost comical on the ground, two men in Halloween masks wrestling each other in the grass. I can't believe how different it seemed just a second before. Blue gets off him, wiping out the grass stains on his trousers like he's been mildly inconvenienced. I can't move. She loved that thing. Red lays there limply for a second before climbing roughly to his feet and steadying himself. I'm gonna go get a drink. I need a beer. Just stay here. He turns to me, holding my gaze for what feels like an eternity. Jesus. He starts to limp away from us. It speeds up the further he gets until he's running full speed around the corner. I realize how he's left me, alone with him. I turn away from Blue. Don't turn your fucking back on this guy! Trying to process everything that just happened. The moon is unnaturally large in the sky, hanging ominously over us. I stare at it, trying to imagine it as some kind of cosmic paradise I could escape to. As I gaze at it, my vision starts to fuzz at the corners. I feel as if I can see Red's bat raised upwards as he gets ready to strike. I see Blue in his experiments, mice rotting in their cage. I feel an overwhelming pressure building in my chest, a rage filling me up and threatening to spill over. Every time Red has screamed at me, every time I have seen Blue perform some sick stunt, everything I've seen tonight. Staring at the milky surface of the moon, I see all the violence I could inflict back on them. All the pain. Blue crunches through the grass to me, snapping me out of my thoughts. The second I look away from the moon, the cacophony inside my head grows silent, but an incredible yearning to look back blossoms in its place. Blue's looking up at the same view. Blue. I'm not really thinking as I speak, a strange confidence coming over me. What? Let him be the crybaby for the night. I cough and stare down at the grass, the breeze starting to chill me through my costume. You can't fucking attack each other. It isn't right. I have no idea how I'm doing this. He flicks his gaze over to me, annoyance starting to show in his stance. You'll notice he was the one to attack me. Am I supposed to not defend myself? There's an incredible threat in his tone now. You knew what you were doing. I've known you long enough to be sure that you knew exactly what you were doing with Red and that poor fucking rabbit. Ooh. Oh shit. His head really flicks to me this time, and before I know it, he slammed me back against a fence. I choke out as he pins me against it, one hand on my neck and the other gripping my left arm. You are a coward. Grow up. He squeezes harder. I pinwheel my legs around in an attempt to kick at him, but he's too strong. I did it because he deserves it. You think I care about, what, our personal bond? I scratch at his hold with my other arm, cringing away from his rancid breath. I wanted a reaction out of him, and I got it. You get so upset over what happens to a bunch of animals, but you don't realize. He slams me back into the fence again. You're both mice in the cage. You're just the more pathetic one. One of my kicks finally connects a little harder, his knee buckling under him. I try to dive away, but he's still latched onto my arm as he pulls himself down on top of me, snarling. I cringe from the punch, my head snapping against concrete. Look at me. Look at me. He grasps the snout of my mask and pulls it around, facing directly towards him. My head throbs from his attacks, but as my eyes focus in, I see he's not human anymore. Yep. His mask has come alive, the formerly dark eye holes illuminated by a piercing yellow gaze. He snarls louder, his canines shining in the light of a street lamp. I can feel claws digging into my flesh on both of my arms. Jesus, it's almost like he's trying to speak to me, the twisted growl fighting its way out instead. Suddenly, I see the moon over his shoulder, my vision sharpening down to a point. I twist and kick, sending him toppling over my side. I clamber to my feet and kick at his torso, only vaguely hearing the sound of my own snarling as I strike again and again. Oh god. Stepping back, I feel a deep wrongness within myself. His crumpled form lays beneath me, chest heaving as he takes in deep gulps of breath. The moonlight shines on him now, even larger on the horizon. I realize I want to kill him. Oh, okay. Well, I see. I think I know what the two endings are. Shit, I don't know. I don't know. Fuck. You know what? First reaction, fuck that shit. No. Don't fucking stoop to their level. I won't kill you. What? Oh shit. What is that? I won't kill you, not because... No, I won't kill you, not because I'm not afraid... Fuck. I won't kill you, not because I'm afraid to be like you, but because I'm better than you. Fight back. Fuck that shit. No. I resist the boiling anger rising within me, reaching up and grasping my mask. I feel hot and claustrophobic, wanting out of this stupid costume as quickly as possible. A hissing noise fills my head, growing louder as I dig my fingers into the greasy fabric. It grows in volume. I can feel my legs starting to shake. I pull, and fresh air pours in. The glow of the moon no longer seems inviting, but revolting. I look down at Blue's damaged form, and it feels as if a miasma is surrounding him. The air is charged as I approach him. Whatever was influencing me clearly having seeped deep into his body. His heavy breathing sounds more like growling. I see his chest rising and falling rapidly. I don't know whether to run, or wait, or try to help him. I've seen him be fucking cruel, but I never imagined he would attack one of us. As I crouch there, he starts to change. A twitch starts in Blue's leg, looking almost like a dog trying to scratch itself. Suddenly, a sickening crunch rings out. I fall back and scrape my hands across the tarmac as he starts wildly twisting around. The screaming coming from him is like nothing I've ever heard, and there are horrible deep crunches emanating with it. As he kicks his leg out, his boot comes flying off, revealing a clawed foot. Jesus, a deep sickness forms in my gut and I crawl over, trying to pin the lower half of his body. I'm not sure what I'm even trying to achieve, but the horror in my stomach spurs me on. He catches me with a claw as I fail again to grasp him at the knee, his form smaller than I expected. Something crunches again, louder this time. If I couldn't hear his body, I would think he was having a seizure. This is clearly much worse than that. I finally pin his lower body, something in his torso shuddering as I do. I look up to see him clawing at his mask and human hands tearing into himself. All at once, it hits me. The mask! He keeps thrashing, no indication that he can hear at all. I realize I need to get it off him, and fast before his body deforms further. I reach over, trying to grasp at the head, but he twists it back and forth ceaselessly. I grasp as his fist connects with my abdomen, feeling winded as I try not to fall off him. As something snaps beneath me, I surge upwards, hands reaching wildly. Reaching, and got! I grasp the snout of the mask and pull up, twisting. It's gonna be part of him, dude. I don't think you can get this thing off. There's more resistance than I expected, and he bucks me off with another kick. Still, I keep my hold on it and pull harder. The fabric emanates warmth, and I try not to think of the implications as I rip. I hear a tear. Yeah, look at that fucking thing. I fly back as the mask finally comes away, landing roughly on my back. Breathing sharply, I collapse back against the road. Holy shit. Once the hammering had resided in my chest a little, I slide unsteadily back to my feet. I can finally see his face, blood-soaked but intact. His eyes have rolled back in his head, and his breathing is faint, but I can no longer hear his body shifting and breaking. It dawns on me the kind of changes his body has already gone through. I don't even know even a little bit of what this could mean for him. There's a ringing in my head as it starts to set in. I mean, he attacked me, but I can't imagine him deserving that. He just changed. I look back up at the moon, but it makes the ringing louder, so I quickly avert my gaze. Fucking Christ! The world feels like it's tilted on its axis as I look down at my own hands, then the mask. Have I changed as well? Could that have happened to me if I hadn't taken my own mask off? The thought makes the sickness in my stomach nearly bubble over, and I take a deep breath of the night air. Should I call someone? What would I even say? My head is really spinning now, and I resist the urge to sit down. Excuse me? The sound is distant, but I feel as if I've been hollowed out. Is that a doggo? Is that Red? Is that fucking Red, like, coming back to, like, kick Blue's ass or something? He's got booze in him now. I mean, it's like one beer, but still. The rumble seeps into my bones as I look around for the source. Yeah, shocker. Again, the music? In the corner of my eye, I see it. Piercing yellow eyes stare back at me from the darkness. Horrible recognition swamps me. I know at once that this creature is Red. His lips curl as the snarl grows in volume, slowly stepping towards me from the shadows. As light is cast on him, I see the unmistakable tint of dark blood around his jaws. He moves with a predator's grace towards me. I flick my eyes down to Blue, realizing I can't leave him like this. As I look back up, the wolf is even closer to me, moving silently across the road. I know I have to act, and I have no idea what to do. There's no way I can carry Blue anywhere, but he can't get himself away. I look back up at it. The muscles in its hulking form shift elegantly under the matted fur, its huge size becoming clearer every second. I realize there is nothing I can do for Blue. Turning, I run. I mean, shit. My heart thumps against my ribcage. Fuck! Resisting clattering to the floor as I sprint away, I slam my foot back into my shoe as it nearly falls off. I don't hear anything behind me, panting filling my ears. Spots begin to appear in my eyes, so I'm forced to stop and lean against a building. I breathe heavily, memories of running away after throwing the rock flooding back to me. It feels like years ago, even though it can only have been an hour. The moon hangs heavily overhead, its sickly glow calling out to me again. I can hear a horrible rending of flesh as it shines on me, shredded by sharp canines. I pound my fists against the wall until I can no longer hear it, and sink down. I must be losing my mind. Deliriously, I close my eyes and see that blood-soaked maw. I think of Jack, and an epiphany comes to me. I don't know why, but I feel in my core that it was his blood. Shakily, I rise to my feet, an unknown sense of purpose beginning to fill me. Are we going to, like, put down Red? Red must have killed him. Yeah, I know it. I don't feel tethered to reality anymore, but I know what has done this. Red must have gone back for his revenge. I already know I've left Blue to die. If I had just not done his sick prank, or not fucked up the night in the first place, maybe none of this would have happened. I can't let people keep dying. I've realized I'm going to need to kill that creature. I'm going to need to kill Red. I was going to do the thing. I was going to say, no one's noticed this. Number one, bystander effect. Number two, that doesn't mean that somebody has called the cops. Number three, I think at this point this has become a little more surreal. I don't think my disbelief is suspended. That's just a random intrusive thought that appeared in my head. My legs start to move without me, and I get them to lead. I feel myself coming in and out of reality as I stumble around, Halloween decorations flickering in the dark. I need to find him again, and I'm concerned about what I'm going to see when I reach him. I hold in a retch as images of Blue flash in my memory. Unlike Red, I'm not used to getting into fights. I draw a small pocket knife out of my trouser pocket, warm from the proximity. Realistically, the blade is tiny. I got it as a gift, and only really carry it out of habit and convenience. A knife is a knife, dude. A knife is a knife. If it's sharp, it can hurt. I try not to think about how I'm actually going to use it as I flip out the blade and clutch the handle. Slowly, I stagger back into the street with Blue. I quickly avert my eyes as a large, bloodied form catches my attention. I know exactly who it belongs to. I hold in a retch as I half walk, half run past it, seeing no sign of the wolf around. I start breathing again as I enter the alley nearby, almost pitch black in the darkness. Eventually, I realize I've nearly worked my way back to the field where our night began, and quicken my pace towards it. My shoes crunch in the dewy grass, and I briefly hope I don't step in any dog shit. The thought seems ridiculous considering the circumstances, but I let out a slightly unhinged laugh. The bushes rustled on my side and I look over. That's what got— you're fucked. You fucked yourself. I see the yellow of his eyes first. Jesus, that sounds very... Whew. The predatory form stalks outwards from the tree line, canines glinting. I realize how hard I'm shaking as I see it drop some kind of fleshy mass from its jaws. Someone scream. Ooh. A childish scream rings out, and I twist to see a kid in a ghost costume turning and running down the street. Sweets fly from their plastic pumpkin basket as I sprint out of view. Shit. I turn back around, seeing the wolf now significantly closer, maybe 3 meters away. I'm thankful I didn't chase after the kid. So people do see it. In a weird way, it seems to have jolted me out of my paralysis. I sprint forwards. Holy shit, just like that, dude? I mean, a snarl rips out, the large beast charging forwards as well. Its large face collides with my arm as I twist out of the way at the last second. The wolf slams me back and I quickly refocus on the knife in my left hand. It turns to me again as I plant the blade into its shoulder, warm blood coating my fist. It yelps but keeps pushing forward. I tried to hold it back with one hand, my fingers releasing the knife. Shit! I've realized how futile this is and try to throw it back, feeling a claw pierce somewhere around my belly button. Oh, Jesus. Ooh, I could feel that. I scream. Teeth clamp over my hand and I scream once more. In a fit of adrenaline, I wrap my hands around its thick neck and use all the strength I can summon. I slam its head down into the ground, feeling it go limp for just a second and release my bloodied fist. Terror consumes me and I jump to my feet, the world hazy. I start to limp away, quickening into a sprint as I hear pounding behind me. The pain in my hands darts up my whole torso, feeling like an electric shock. As I reach the street, I realize I've got no idea what I'm doing. No possibility of outrunning the creature. The knife didn't seem to slow it down even a little. Terror grows in my chest, but a bit into my left gives me an idea. Hearing the wolf right behind me, I reach out and grab. I stumble slightly as I pull down, but the bin clatters loudly to the floor behind me. The wolf slams into it, garbage spilling into the street. I take advantage of the brief distraction and turn sharply into another road. I have absolutely no direction, but something catches my attention. Strips of fabric lie in a heap, along with... Wait. A large, dented bat sits amongst it. No way. I have no time to consider what led me here as I reach down and grip the bat, hearing snarling behind me. Jesus! I swing, feeling metal collide with flesh. Another yelping snarl rings out and I see the furred body hit the floor. It recovers fast though, clawing back towards me. It moves faster than I expected, and the bat glances off as its teeth dig into my arm. I splutter and scream, but it digs in further. No, you do not... If a dog ever, bites you, actually legit bites you, you do not shake your hand. You keep that shit still. You go along with its movements. I fall back and hear something tear. Those teeth finally leaving my arm. Jesus. Everything starts to fade, but I urge myself back to reality as it surges towards my face. It moves in slow motion as I feel myself swinging the bat up towards it. It gets closer and closer, and... I hit first as it falls down, limp body flopping on top of me. I struggle to push it off, finally sliding my legs out from underneath it. As I stand up, I swing again. Oh, Jesus. It twitches and brings a paw up to stand. Ugh. Oh, my God. Oh, I hate... Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that image in my head, especially as my dog is laying next to me. I don't want to think about that. I decide to hit it again to be sure. And again. Oh, Jesus. I mean, yeah, I don't like that image. Everything goes still as I hit it again, seeing the color truly leave its eyes this time. My head spins as I realize it might actually all be over. I feel like I've slipped into a different world without my knowing. I look over at it, its chest no longer raising and lowering as it breathes. I remember exactly what it is. I laugh a little, feel sick, and throw up onto the street beside me. I sit down hard, feeling weakness throughout my whole body. Resting my head against the road, I watch the stars. I think of going back home, but I can't find the strength to move. A feeling of madness descends on me, and I realize something is truly broken. I clamber up to my feet, clutching the bat limply in my hand. I ignore the feeling of warmth gushing over my arm. As I begin to walk away, I hear police sirens in the distance. Fucking hell, dude. These are all the songs. I kind of don't want to know what happens if I embrace it. That's... Fuck, dude, I don't know. But, hey, I'm a YouTube Let's Player. Kinda have to, right? This is fascinating shit. Okay, as much as I don't like it, we're back at the pivotal moment, I guess. Embrace it. Yikes, okay. An incredible warmth fills me as I stare down at blue. The breeze rushes around my ears, the sound of the grass rustling filling the landscape. I can hear mice scampering through the dirt and feel an urge to rush towards them. The blue's wheezing reminds me of what I'm doing. I turn to him, tense as I watch him twitch. Something crunches hard. He brings his legs up to stand, but his leg spasms and his boot falls away, revealing a clawed foot. He groans as his bones shift out of place, his arms snapping and reshaping before my eyes. I take the opportunity given to me and pounce. Jesus. He lets out a half-formed snarl as I try to bite at his neck, only vaguely aware that my mask is in the way. My body has started to feel incredibly distant, and I switch to raking down his torso with my nails. A horrible squeal emits from his throat, which switches to a choked snarling as his body continues to fight against him. I can feel him reshaping underneath me, his large torso creaking and shuddering. Slamming my knee down into him, I feel a sickening snap as his chest caves in. His yellow eyes stare up at me, and for a second I wonder what I'm doing. I feel a horrible shifting in my leg, and then I feel my knee joint disconnect. Fuck! The fox kicks out underneath me, his clothes now engulfing him. I try to keep my hold on the squirming mass beneath me, but my vision blurs as my hips shift and crunch. Oh, Jesus. I fall backwards, my head striking the pavement. The pain engulfs me as I lay there, spasming as I try to resist the changes. Another wave hits as I try to scrabble to my feet, my trousers tangled around my feet. The pain now radiates through my arms, each of my fingers cracking as they reform into tiny stumps. Yeah, and there's Blue. As the feeling fades for a brief second, the fox lands on top of me, teeth sink into my neck, and I try to scream. I try to swat at the furred form above me, my half-formed legs useless as the pain swamps me. The teeth dig in further, twisting as I feel something tear. Warmth gushes down my neck, and I desperately summon all my strength to throw the fox off, hearing it smack the tarmac next to me. It squeals and squirms. I turn over, attempting to use my right arm to clutch at the deep gash. My shoulder feels fused in place, and I realize my arm can no longer reach up to my neck. I thud down limply as my strength leaves me. Ugh. I hear claws scrabbling next to me, knowing I can't fight back. I uselessly curl in on myself and try to use my malformed body to defend my head. Struggling to breathe, the overwhelming urge to rip at my throat engulfs me. I feel my flesh give way to teeth and claw, pinpricks of fire erupting across my body. My throat is raw from screaming. Nausea fills my chest as I realize my head is reshaping, my jaw lengthening and snapping into place. My gums burn as large canines pierce their surface. A deep itch covers my whole body. I nearly choke on my own tongue as I try to shut my mouth, my mask growing completely suffocating. I can barely register the creature above me, the world starting to go dark as everything swamps me. Fully coyote now. I wake with a start, raking my claws against the fox. It's smaller than I am, blood soaked into its matted fur. My whole body screams, but the adrenaline within me is overpowering. I lunge at the it. The squealing only drives me on. I swipe at its face, clawing lines from its ear down to its eye. It stumbles back from me and I push, biting down against its pathetic form. Blood hums underneath the warm fur and I go in for the kill. One last horrifying squeal rises from its throat, but it goes limp in my jaws. Perfectly posed. God. I pull back, faint recognition stirring in my mind. The longer I look at it, the more confused I feel. This isn't where I should be, and I don't remember why I'm here. Swiveling my ears, I refocus on my environment. Swiveling my ears, yeah. I guess you would now that you're a coyote. The fox... excuse me. The sky is getting louder on the horizon. Lighter. Jesus Christ. I'm turning into an animal who can't speak English, and I grow concerned about getting back home. I don't know where that is. Everything feels increasingly fractured, a sense of tragedy blossoming in my chest. I trot in a small circle, recognition beginning to flicker but fading away faster than I can understand it. And that's red, yeah. Christ. I look back down at my prey, worried somehow that it was still alive. Completely unmoving, it lays there. Yeah. Corner of my vision, I see the source of the growl. A large wolf stands in the distance, teeth bared and glinting. Tragedy turns to horror, and the horrible recognition only grows. The moonlight shines down on it, wet blood coating its snout. It stalks towards me. Past her now. I have no time to think. I run. Knowing I cannot run it, but everything in my body is screaming at me to try. Pounding behind me is only getting louder. Run. Those were separate things. It was clicking. Run, run, run. The world smears past me in streaks of light, labyrinthine streets yawning out at me. It's getting closer. Run. 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 I don't know where I'm going, but I feel purpose. Something in me is desperately trying to break free. It's almost upon me now. Classic horror game. Spam one word. Yeah, I don't think you could outrun a wolf. Well, I don't know. I don't think that's the focus right now. Colliding heavily with me, it sends me flying across the grass. I dodge the snarling jaws over me and scamper to the side. Teeth come down on my back leg and a sickening crunch rings out. I scream, choking on my own saliva. The slavering jaws are on me, tearing into the wound. I swipe out, feeling my claws pierce one of the wolf's eyes. Liquid runs over my paw. It retreats, stumbling over its own paws as blood spurts from its face. I clamber upwards, forgetting the extent of my injury. Oh, I hate that. A deep snap and a feeling of wrongness radiates through my body, and I fall heavily back down to the floor. I can't feel my leg. I realize all at once that I'm not getting away. The wolf stalks back towards me, a deep growl rumbling in its chest. It's a great animal recordings, by the way. I brace myself, knowing that it... Yeah, oh, Jesus Christ. It rips into my neck, my mangled throat coming apart instantly. Instead of pain, numbness begins to fill my body. I try to raise a hand to stop the flow, but I have no hand to stop it. Christ. A pool of warmth blossoms beneath me, my body tingling as it does. It feels much nicer than the chill of the wind. My head flops down on its own, and I realize I can't lift it back up. I look at the house in front of me. The night is peaceful. Recognition flickers distantly in my head. I look closer. The smell of something in the kitchen wafting out towards me. Oh my god. No, dude. This feels... I know where I am. My claws scrabble once or twice on the grass as I try to desperately stand. This... Oh. God damn it. Can't just punch me in the gut right there right at the very end? Fuck me, dude. Well, I mean... That's not exactly a happy ending to leave off on, but that was CANIDAE by Ozone Interactive. That was really fucking good. Wow, generic, brave statements here on the studio's channel. No, I really, genuinely, really did love this game. And I'll tell you why. This is a game that feels like it could only have been made by the person who did make it, that is. There's some... What I love about indie games and just like solo dev projects in general is you come across stuff like this where only the person who could have they feel like works of art that can only be made in one way by the person who made them. There's something about this game, how it uses like royalty-free and Creative Commons music, which by the way was fucking spectacular. There's something about the way that it's very obvious that the developer just like took pictures of their own neighborhood. You know, probably the Green's house at the end there was probably the developer's actual house, or just a house that they know. There's I don't know, there's something so... something about the way the prose, like, felt to read. There's some... I think the developer was thinking about this for a long time. This story, thinking about this kind of scenario. Maybe the developer, hopefully they didn't have this happen, but maybe they have some kind of experience with the kind of toxic friend relationships that are explored here. There's something so... I don't know, this feels so singular in a wonderful way. There's something to say about making something for yourself. I put the wrong emphasis on that, and still putting it out to the public. I don't know, there's something about that just feels like, something about this just feels like that. I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't think I have the vocabulary or the presence of mind right now as I'm digesting the game to really word it in a way that makes sense to people outside of just my raw, like, emotional impulses, right? Speaking of raw emotional impulses, I think it's fairly obvious what quote unquote the lesson in this game is, right? You know, you give in to your baser toxic impulses, your more primal behaviors, you give in to the random rages and anger. It turns you into a fucking animal, quite literally. You know, I like that that's represented in, obviously, with the CANIDAE, with the fox and the wolf and the coyote. You know, just very, it's a very easy, very easy, not in the sense that, like, oh, it's like lazy. Yeah, of course I could see through that. Yeah, I know what symbolism is. It's easy to understand, and it's a very universal kind of thing, because, like, we all understand and know what animals are. You know, like, it's just kind of a instant human knowledge thing. And I appreciate that. No, what am I trying to say? I appreciate and really, really enjoy enjoy in the sense of it's a good story. I enjoy the dynamics in this group. You know, it kind of, you know what this fucking reminds me of? Nowhere near as extreme as this, but this reminds me a lot of the first act of Clockwork Orange, or Clockwork Orange. You know, brilliant book, brilliant movie. Stanley Kubrick, one of the greats. There's like a certain kind of the British, like teenage, like, apathy, and like teenage, what's the word I'm looking for? Not delinquent, I guess no. Certain kind of, like, British teenage angst kind of feel. You know, kind of like, again, nowhere near as extreme as depicted in A Clockwork Orange, but I just get similar vibes off of that. You know, just these three blokes, one very much not into it. They have this whole, like, network of people who have fucked with them, people that they fucked with, people that they get, like, you know, fireworks from, people who live in their neighborhood. It feels so, and that could be emphasized. This might just be my American ass talking, right? But since it's, like, set in, like, a suburb, obviously British suburbs are very different from American suburbs, but there's a certain kind of, like, fucking annoyance that I had, especially as, like, a teenager, especially, like, before I could, like, drive, or before I could, like, competently get myself places. There's this kind of, and again, this is, like, painted by my own personal bias. There's kind of, maybe it is like a rage that, like, oh, you're stuck in this fucking stupid place. All these houses are so close together, or they're close but, like, separate, and, like, you're just kind of out here on, like, the outskirts of places where you would actually want to be. You're outside of places that you actually care about. You're stuck on everything is so far away. Suburbs are kind of like in this fucking gross middle ground where you're far enough away from places to be like, miss them, but you're close enough to be like, oh, god damn it, it's like a 30-minute drive. Like, I can just go there. Places are close enough to where you're like, fucking, I have to like deal with this, but they're far enough away where you feel completely disconnected from other people. You know, you live in situations where like you don't fucking talk to your neighbors when they're right fucking next to you. There's a certain kind of like anger or angst that kind of arises from that, or the feeling of like being trapped in something that's supposed to be very open and freeing, like as we're living in the suburbs and all that shit, blah blah blah. Which really connected with me. You know, I can obviously I don't relate to these fucking people, but I can put myself in their shoes at least a little bit. Right, in that aspect, in that sense. And another thing I really liked about this game, loved actually, was that exploration, or at least very honest and like, yeah, I'll go with honest, a very honest depiction of like toxic friendships and toxic relationships, and just, you know, like that kind of depiction of like those like delinquent groups, those like angry groups of kids. I've never been in something like as extreme as this, but you know, like I've had like not like now as an adult, because like I make friends with people that I want, that I like and like mutually respect. You know, like as an adult, I am very much way more picky than the people that I talk to. I have a very close group of friends that I like consider like to be siblings practically. But like back as a kid, as like an early teenager, you know, you just talk to people in class, and sometimes they can be fucking weirdos, you know. I won't say that I've been in like toxic friendships, but you know, there are times where, especially back then, I would feel like that they were friends with me because I had a PlayStation 3. You know, that kind of vibe. I feel like they were friends with me because their home lives were really shitty, or just like very apathetic towards them, and they found me as like a kind of like escape and would be a little overbearing on it. This is not like veiled to any of the people I consider friends today. Fuck no. I love my friends. I'm talking specifically about back then as a kid. So I wouldn't say I haven't like experienced the same kind of thing. But like these kinds of groups exist. These kinds of people genuinely do exist and connect and do bad shit together. Not exactly because they're like inherently bad people. It's, well, I mean, Blue. We'll talk about Blue in a second. It's just a whole, go figure, human relationships and human conditions are very complex, and there's a lot of factors going into everything. But I can't exactly just like chalk it all up to like, oh, we'll use this and use this and blah, 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 blah. No. I really enjoyed our, I guess I'll call them antagonists. I really liked the characterizations of Red and Blue. I like just the very simple names and monikers, you know, Red and Blue. I think I've already said how much I liked their I almost said the word fursona. What the fuck is wrong with me? Jesus Christ, terminally online brain rotten child. I really liked how their chosen animals, you know, reflect them. You know, Red is obviously, you know, very bull-headed, very headstrong, very active. He's very, you know, ha ha ha. So he's like a wolf, that makes sense, and I like that. Blue is, you know, very kind of reclusive psychopath. Very like disturbed red flag child, which is why I gave him a voice like this. And I like that he's a fox, you know, because the fox is like very, you know, cunning and sly and like slinky, and Blue was like the biggest person in the group, but he just has that kind of vibe among him. Good choice of words. I don't know, I think it fits really well, and like, this is just, I fear that this group, or at least Red and Blue at least, I hate to say, but I kind of feel like they were, you know, destined to attract each other, and they were also destined to kind of repulse each other. Because of that, because it's like, oh, you find another guy who likes to fuck around, another guy who doesn't give a shit about whatever, but they're different kinds of crazy. And I don't think Red, especially Red, he was not, I feel like Red is very much a product of his circumstance. Go figure, crime is, people do crime because of material circumstance, mostly. And, you know, Red, with the whole thing with like his sister being abused by Jack and all that, I kind of feel like, yeah, just leave it at that. Red is very much a product of his conditions and his circumstances. So, of course, you know, he gets mad about the rabbit. He gets concerned that because his sister loved that rabbit. It's very obvious that he, like, has love in him. I feel like it's very much like a deep down kind of thing. And, you know, because, again, of his circumstance, he, you know, one way or another, he ends up acting out and doing all this, you know, oh, damn kid activities. Throwing bricks through windows and shooting off fireworks and walking around with a bat to look cool, you know? Fuck Blue. Blue is very much a, sociopath, psychopath. Fucking pick your poison, dude. Just, no. Very controlling. Very much obviously just selfish fucking weirdo, you know, obviously killing small animals. Fucking highly manipulative personality. Loves to be not exactly the center of attention, but loves to be the master manipulator. Loves to control things. I bet he wets the bed too, because that's another fucking sign of a serial killer. I fucking hate him. And just, I don't know. That's out of the serious analysis and into the pure vibes of this. There's something about the vibes of this game that fucking really hit home for me. Just, you know, I think I hinted at it a lot during when I talked about like the after party feeling when all the kids went home from Halloween. I can vividly picture, because I'm up at night a lot, because I'm like working on videos and working on work, you know, so I can live. Point is, I stay up a lot, and I've like gone for walks in the middle of the night in my neighborhood, and there's a certain kind of stillness, certain kind of apprehension isn't the right word. It's more like I don't know how to describe it really now that I try and put words to it. It's a kind of restlessness about the air of like an American suburb at like 2:30 in the morning. You know, you got the orange of people's porch lights. There's chill in the air. You can hear the sounds of tires way out in the distance in the city. It's such an uncanny... Again, I think the best word I can think of right now is restless. kind of feel about it all, and it just feels so... It makes me want to hold my breath. It makes me want to go. It makes me want to go somewhere, do anything. I don't know. That's like the only words I can put to it. It's just... And imagining it specifically with the Halloween decorations, with that kind of energy that needs to be expelled but can't be acted upon. It's this kind of like dull lightning. That's a good way to put it. Like dull lightning, not dull, slow lightning, not sharp, not like explosive, but contained, bottled. Like shut off from what it is supposed to be and feel like. A kind of dampness. Almost a kind of weight pushing down on your shoulders. It kind of feels like aimless youth. And go figure, now that I think about it like that, kind of relates to the characters. Maybe that's why it meshes so well in my head. Why it's just a lovely, well, definitely not lovely. Jesus Christ, those descriptions of like death and dying were really fucking hard hitting to me. Probably because I was just so immersed in it. And like that kind of overhang over the setting is perfectly punctuated by that music. I mean, Kevin MacLeod aside, specifically the songs by, oh god, what is their name? Staring at the history out there, it is Patricia Taxxon. Holy shit, I imagine those other songs were made by them. Holy shit, those rocked. Those fucking fit so perfectly. And that's just like the kind of music I like to listen to anyway. I love like dirty, noisy, like destructive, like very like unrigid, very like, I was gonna say unorthodox, but that just gives off the air of like, I listen to genres you don't know challenge. Haha, I'm smarter than you. No, I love that kind of like noisy, raw music. And that, again, perfectly fits in with the story, fits in with the setting and my feelings around it. It's just... And you combine that, we're going full circle here, you combine that with the kind of DIY-ness and very much like just very bare bones kind of indie development going on here, because this is a game made in RenP, obviously, the open source visual novel software, or game engine, I mean. You wrap all of that kind of raw, like, I dare I say, like, punk isn't the right word, that indie spirit, you put that all up in a bag and wrap it all up and deliver it via zip file onto my computer, and I love it. Spectacular. I really fucking vibed with and loved this game. I would be thinking about it for a while after this. This was an utterly phenomenal experience. I definitely think I'll put this in my personal favorites. Because the point of that playlist is not only to put like, oh, my best videos, my funniest haha videos, but also put up the videos with the games that I really, really fuck with and vibe with to get across my tastes. This hits on all of it. This was spectacular. Kudos and all the love in the world to Ozone Interactive for making this. Beautiful. Huzzah. If you do not have any fans, I'm your fucking first one. If you have a lot of fans, then I'm your fucking strongest. This was fucking perfect. Perfect for me. And thank you, every single one of you for watching and listening through this entire thing, which you probably didn't. But for those who do, and did, thank you all so very much for watching this video. It would really genuinely mean the world to me if you even consider liking and commenting and subscribing, all that YouTube stuff that everyone tells you to do. Don't worry, it's all reversible. You can always undo all those actions later if I turn out to fucking kill rats in my basement or something for fun. In any case, thank you all so very much for watching this video, and look up at the moon tonight.